What's the angriest you've ever been with one of your fighters? Was it Brock Lesnar? Was it Anderson Silva? What's the angriest Dana White's ever been with one of his fighters?
I've had a few. I would probably have to say with Tito. Tito and I, we had a relationship, before we bought the UFC, and then, the things that kind of went down between he and I, at a critical time in the business. So I would have to say that was probably the most angry I've been. Plus, I was a lot angrier when this thing wasn't doing well.
Yeah.
I've lightened up a little.
Question for Dana White by text. Why does Dana show no respect for Frank Shamrock? He was the 5-time middleweight champ for UFC at one point.
I don't know how I've not shown any respect to Frank Shamrock. Shamrock and I have butted heads publicly many times. We have two different opinions on things. It doesn't mean I don't respect what he did when he fought in the UFC.
We ever going to see... I'm sorry, excuse me.
No, that's okay. We just, our personalities don't match up at all.
We ever going to see Silva and St. Pierre?
People ask me that all the time. It's getting to the point. This is what I believe. I believe that my job is to put on fights that people want to see. And, I keep hearing that, and enough people want to see it. I guess I'm going to have to do it.
What the hell are you waiting for?
I don't know. The fight doesn't really make all that much sense to me because George St. Pierre is a true 170-pounder. Anderson Silva, at 185, he's moved up to 205 and does very well at that weight. I see him going up, not going down.
Who's better?
I don't know. I mean, getting into the who's a better fighter, the only way to answer that is to have them fight. I never answer questions it's like everybody will say, what do you think about this guy and that guy? I say, you know what? Here's what I can tell you. Stylistically, this guy's got this guy's got that, but the only way to find out who's going to win is to have them fight.
Rob, you're on with UFC President Dana White.
Mr. White, I know you probably have nothing to gain, and this is probably a pipe dream, but what would it take for a cross-promotional pay-per-view between you guys and an organization like Strikeforce? I mean, we all know that everybody wants to see Fedor and Brock, and when they're in two different promotions, it's 1% chance, if that it would ever happen. What would it take for something like that to happen? Thank you.
It will never happen in a million years. They're a minor league. Listen, I've already come to the realization, and everybody else needs to too, that Fedor doesn't want to fight the best guys in the world. He just doesn't. Believe me when I tell you guys, I have done everything in my power. I've flown to crazy parts of the world and done all this stuff, been on the phone for hours, not hung out with my kids on weekends because I'm on the phone with these lunatics, and just can't make the deal. They don't want to do it. So we got to get over it.
What was the lowest of low points, Dana, when even you had doubt that maybe you wouldn't be able to get the whole thing off the ground?
And my partners ended up dumping like $44 million into this thing. And one day, Lorenzo called me and said, I can't keep doing this, man. This is crazy. Because if you look at $44 million, to have $44 million, that means you had like 70 something and got taxed and ended up with 40. You know what I mean? We're talking big money. And Lorenzo said, I don't think I can do this anymore. We're probably going to have to pull the plug. Get out there on the streets and see what you can get for this thing. So I start making calls all day, and at the end of the night I said, you know what? I could probably get, 4.5, 5, maybe 7 million tops for this thing. And he said, all right, I'll call you tomorrow. Called me the next day and said, you know what? Let's keep going. So if he would have pulled the plug that night, we wouldn't even be having this conversation right now.
Huh. And then what'd you be doing?
I'd be parking your car over here when you came into Las Vegas to on vacation with your family.
No private jet to the Laker game last night.
Yeah, you'd be giving me your keys and $1.
Brian, you're on with UFC President Dana White.
Hey Dana, question. I love your product, and I was just wondering what is the real problem with getting Fedor to fight? Because I know you say he's not as good as everybody thinks he is, but everybody, including myself, pretty much for the strong consensus that he's the best fighter in the world. So what's the problem getting him there to fight?
Fedor's management is mafia.
Well, Fedor's management, believe me, I know you get these guys and they're fans of a fighter and they're like, oh yeah, he's my favorite fighter, and but Dana won't do this, because Dana's the goofball promoter and all. Trust me, believe me, I don't know how to tell you.
Give us the story, Dana. Tell us.
My kids' lives, I have flown to goofy parts of the world to go try to get this thing done. I have spent hours on the phone
and
during the
offered
week.
what? And offered what that you were most stunned that Fedor's people said, no, that's not good enough either?
I can tell you this. I offered him more than anybody ever in his entire fight career has ever offered him, or ever will.
How much?
You know, there was a point in time. Let me ask all of you and all your listeners this question. Brock Lesnar used to be in the WWE. I signed him and re-signed him. Chuck Liddell was the biggest superstar on earth at the time when everybody was coming after us. Chuck Liddell stayed with me. Matt Hughes, Rich Franklin. I mean, I can go through the list. It goes on and on of guys that I've not only been able to sign, but able to re-sign and keep in the UFC for years. But I can't sign this guy? Why? Why? What am I doing that I can't sign this guy? They're lunatics. They don't want to fight the best guys in the world. Period. That's the only answer. It's the only answer that I can even begin to come up with in my head on why we can't sign this guy. You know, he can listen. There's no doubt the guy's older. The level of athlete that's out there right now, it just keeps getting better and better. Our heavyweight division has never been more stacked than it is right now with incredible talent. And this guy can go over there and fight in their league, and I guarantee they're paying him more money than anybody they have under contract, and he can fight bums. Why would he not want to do that? You know? He can go over there and make big money to fight nobodies.
Let's play our game here with one of the most honest men anywhere in sports. Let's play our game with him. Go ahead and fire that off.
And now it's time to play Douche or No Douche. Here's your host, Douche LeBatard.
Jaeger bombs, douche or no douche?
No douche.
Bottle service, douche or no douche?
No douche.
Guy who never likes a movie he watches in the theater, douche or no douche?
Douche.
2 cell phones, douche or no douche?
Oh, I got 2. Probably a douche. I don't know.
The bragging about fantasy trades, douche or no douche?
Total douche.
Hey.
Owning a pet snake, douche or no douche?
No douche.
Rhinestones on your shirt, douche or no douche?
Super, double, triple, over the top douche.
Champions that threaten to drink Coors Light instead of Bud Light, douche or no douche?
Oh, no. No answer. No answer to that one.
Sure dog, douche or no douche?
Douche.
Fedor's management, douche or no douche?
Douche.
Tito Ortiz, douche or no douche?
No douche.
Jay Glazer, douche or no douche?
No douche.
Jay Glazer. Douche or no douche?
No douche.
Dana, thanks for being on with us.
That is funny. Pleasure. Thank you guys. And thanks to the fans for calling in. Appreciate it.